Good afternoon. My name's Richard, and on YouTube I go by Resilient Rich, just because it takes true resilience to stay on the narrow path that leads to eternal life. Seems like it's coming with more and more trials every day, man. But I want to start off with the scripture that I came across today in Proverbs 21:15. It says, when justice is served, the righteous find joy. But evildoers get worried, basically. I forgot the exact word it uses, but they don't like it when it's true justice being served. And I've had a personal experience with this very recently. Just another thing to, talk about my experience with dealing with the trials of narcissism. So I had mentioned there was this woman I was with, and I put her on. I financed a truck and I put her on to help her credit. To help boost her credit. We both wanted to start working on our credit. So, anyways, long story short, this truck got taken from me along with my kids. And if you've been watching this a while, you know the story to that. The truck and the kids got taken from me. Anyways, I was still going to let this woman keep the truck, but I went in to pay it off and finance another one, and they say because I didn't have a residence for 6 months, I couldn't do that. So my only option for transportation, because I knew I wasn't going to be able to get it back unless I did something legally, was to take this woman off of it. So I did that completely legally, didn't forge any signatures. I was accused of that. I would have went to jail if I did that, trust me. So I did that, right? Shortly after this, I found out that I still couldn't get it back because she had it for a couple months, and those couple months she had legal possession of it. So the cops say there's nothing they can do to get it back. This is out of Casper, Wyoming. Sorry about this. This road's bad. So I don't know, like a month goes by. It's around the holidays. No, it's just after the holidays, and I'm really missing my kids. So I text and I say, hey, I will sign this truck 100% over to you if you just let me see the kids, if you let me be in the kids' life. Nothing. Ghosted. Well, I text to check on the welfare of my kids because I find it weird that I have not been able to talk to them in months. And what's going through my head is the only reason they wouldn't want them to talk to me is to, one, hurt me, and two, them be afraid of my kids telling me something that they don't want me to know, like about their living situation or whatever. So I'm immediately texting, because I've been texting and been ignored. So then I said, I'm worried about their welfare, blah, blah, blah. So I'm text back by my ex's mother-in-law saying, basically that I crossed boundaries and I'm this horrible person. I said, if there's any boundaries that I've crossed, because I got falsely accused and got put on probation, I said, whatever boundaries I've crossed, please let me know, as well as my probation officer know, so that I can be held accountable. Because all I've tried to do in months is text 3 times about the welfare of my kids. Okay, so it goes from that to her telling me I didn't care at all about my kids. If I cared about my kids, I wouldn't have taken transportation from My ex, which that wasn't my intent, and I didn't even know I did that. But this is what I mean by justice being served. I figured they still had it, but now I know they're holding it strictly out of spite. Because she says, now, speaking of my ex, now she can't go and see her older kids, which are a couple towns away, like an hour drive. Now she can't do that because after she had her interlock put in, 3 days later, she had to park it. I didn't know that. I had no clue. But that let me know that, okay, so now she had to park the vehicle. I can't get it back. The vehicle I just paid off is just sitting there not being used, and you guys still won't give it up, even though it's legally mine, and the cops say there's nothing they can do about it. That tells me they're doing it strictly out of spite. So, you know, I probably defended myself more than I should have, giving my explanation on why I did things. Feeding them just a little bit of energy it wasn't a good thing, man. I shouldn't have gave them any of my energy. I should have just left it at that. Like, let her say what she said, and then. But it sucks at the same time when I'm trying to see my kids. And what sucks is if so-and-so, who was my ex, is so worried about, I didn't say this, but I wanted to her mom, so worried about seeing her kids. Why wouldn't she let me see my kids? And I will sign the vehicle over to her, just let them be in my life. And another thing is, like I said, this vehicle was taken from me, and then when I would try and see my kids before, I would hear things like, what do you expect to do with them without transportation? From the person who's holding my vehicle. So, long story short, it was okay for them to hold my vehicle and for them to keep my kids and prevent me from seeing my kids, and it's still okay for them to do that. And me not having anyone in this state. But the other person involved in the story being from here, having her whole family here, having another vehicle that this mother was holding from her, that my ex owned. You know, and it's just, it wasn't an issue when I couldn't see my kids. But now, I don't see how that she had to park the vehicle. Things have been complicated for her to go see her older kids. That's an issue. But my problems in the truck that I paid for, that don't matter. That don't matter. But they're going to sit there and try and make me feel bad for doing something that I did strictly because I have no one here and I need transportation. That is an example of narcissism, man. The world revolves around them, and any interruption that comes into their life is not acceptable. But if they cause interruption in someone else's life, so what? Get over it. And it can be extremely irritating. And all I can say is I'm glad for the growth that the Lord's blessed me with, because the old me would have just went back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And I did a couple times just defending myself. Nothing bad. I didn't get angry. I just stuck up for myself, which I shouldn't have even done that. Like I said, man, no one's perfect. And this is coming with, like, I'm getting stronger as time goes on. But it's things like this you'll deal with, man. And the scary thing about narcissists is they're so good at hiding it, dude. Like they put out to the public, they'll even do things like animal rescues or whatever in the community to look like a certain type of person that cares so much and just wants to help. And it may take years for their mask to come off. And then when it comes off, you being the empath or whatever type of person you are, who upsets the narcissist, that's when you find out, dude. This whole time, it's all been fake, dude. It's all been a mask. It's all been, and it makes you feel used, dude. It makes you feel played. It makes you feel like an idiot. You know what I mean? But that's how I felt when this stuff first started to happen. But I've gotten way over that. And I just don't understand how people can be so selfish and so hard-headed that they can do something to somebody that it not only affects that person, but it affects innocent children, young children. Like the ages of like 8 and 6. And when this first started happening, like 5 and 3. But they don't see an issue with that at all. The only issue they see is when you stick up for yourself and do what you need to do to take care of yourself. If it affects them in any negative way at all, that, you know what, that's when it's not okay with them. I don't understand it, man. And the bottom line is, we just have to be careful, dude. And like if I would have known what to look for when it came to narcissists and things like that a long time ago, I could have been warned and I could have seen the red flags. But I'd never really even heard of a narcissist unless I was being called one. And this isn't to put anyone down, this isn't for sympathy, this isn't for anything like that. It's to expose narcissism and how dangerous it is, dude. Because, like I said, the bottom line and why I'm making this video is to shed light on how narcissists can be chameleons, man, in a very dangerous way. They can portray the most innocent, loving, caring people. And that's how they wrap so many people in, dude. But the moment they feel like you've gone against them or you're just sticking up for yourself, that's when you see that demon inside of them come alive, man. So, like, things to look out for that I've learned are, let's say you're in a relationship and that you're in fights a lot, or arguments, or whatever, or maybe not a lot, but when these arguments do occur, the one partner takes no accountability, and they go and tell everyone about it. What they're doing when they're doing this is they're painting a picture of you. So then, when they abandon you, it's okay. It's like they have already painted this picture of you so that when they decide to, there's a word for it, I forgot the word that like doctors call it, but when they decide to abandon you, like the people that they associate with will already have this picture painted of you to make their story believable. Okay, so if they go and talk to people a lot about fights, and not only talk to people a lot about fights, but flip the story and put all the blame on you, that's a sign. And something else they will do is, if you're the empath, it's going to take you a long time to move on because your love was real and genuine. And you're not going to be out looking, that's for dang sure. And opportunities that might come your way, you're going to pay extra attention to because you're hurt, man. Because you truly love this person. To where the narcissist, and the empath or the person on the wrong end of the stick when it comes to the narcissist will lose everything. Home, finances, friendships. Have your community completely turned against you through a smear campaign. While the narcissist goes about not losing anything, and before you know it, they're already in another relationship, not even a month down the road. And the reason for that is most likely, sorry, I have a call. The reason for that is most likely because they had this person in their back pocket the whole time. Meaning they had a backup plan. They had been talking to other people, waiting to use you as a scapegoat and abandon you. So when they leave, you're sitting there broken and hurt, and they're already halfway to the next one, if not all the way to the next one. These are things that'll happen, man. Like, so just look out for that, dude. Like, if it's very rare for them to apologize, and they're always flipping the narrative, making you out to be the bad guy, and them the victim, and they've manipulated their family. Not only manipulated, their family was most likely in on it the whole time too. But like, you don't even like going to social events where their family's around, because you know everyone hates you due to what they've been told about you. Just things like this, man. Look out for it, because I wish I would have known what to look out for, dude. I would have saved myself a lot of time. And like, there's no ending it in a nice, like, civil way, dude. Like, there were so many times I personally would say things like, if you're not in this, let's just end it now before it gets too late, before we develop spite and hate for each other. If you're not in this 100% with both feet, let's just end it now so we can go our separate ways civilly. So it's better for us and better for the kids. A narcissist is not capable of ending things in any kind of civil way, because they want to feel like they won. They want to hurt you. They want to not only hurt you, but while you're down, stick their heels in, stick their spurs in, and just turn it and turn it and turn it, and kick you and kick you and kick you while you're down. That is what they will do, man. So if you're in a situation where you feel like this, man, like, this is just me talking from experience, dude, like hindsight's 20/20 type thing, and you find yourself in those conversations where it's like, hey, if you're not in this, for one, if you're asking the question, most likely you know they're not. It's best just to part ways then, and it's not going to be easy. You're still going to be made out to be this horrible person, but at least you're saving time, dude, and you're not wasting time on fake love and a complete fake relationship. But I'll leave it at that, and yeah, dude, just be careful. Pay attention to little things, man. You know, and I would encourage anybody to go and study narcissism, just because of how prominent it is, dude, and how good they are at hiding it. Like, if you have little warnings that you know you need to look out for, it could save you a ton of time, dude, and a ton of heartache. But I'll leave it at that. You guys have a good one, and I'll see you.